Good morning. So I'm having these thoughts and I want to bring them into words. It's thoughts that I have often, and I don't know if I've spoken about it before. Probably. But you have to know what you want in order to make it true, in order to bring it into your reality. So we always have this, we know, create your own reality, and your thoughts create your reality, and your words create who you are. You have to watch your words. I'm in Nakhlamud, so I finally got far enough in where the sun is already shaded. See, I love this valley. So there's no sun now. I took my son down to the intersection to catch a bus to his basketball thing. And this morning I cut my walk with the dogs short because I had to get back and get him up and get him out, make sandwiches and everything. So I took him down to the intersection to catch the bus. So I figured I'd take the dogs and myself out for a walk. I just love being in nature, and I feel like I didn't get this morning. It feels like I can't quite yet dive into the day without getting a better walk. And I feel like as soon as I got here, it's like something opened up in me. This morning when I went out on my morning walk, I didn't have anything to say, and I just did it kind of quick so I could get back. That's one thing. I don't like pressure. That's something that I really want ease in my life. If I'm watching my words, the opposite of pressure, knowing what you don't want shows you what you do want. So I don't want pressure. And so I'm going to take the pressure word out because the pressure word is focusing on the pressure. So I want ease in my life. I want to be able to get up in the morning and follow my nose. And get up in the morning and get into a flow and do the things that I love doing, and they will lead me to the places that I need to be and being provided for. That's also a thought that I've been having a lot lately, is that when I'm my true self and when I'm in the place where I need to be, then I magnetize things that are, if I get up in the morning and I follow my nose and I do the things that pull me and draw me to be doing, I'll be drawn into my natural place of being, and that will bring in um, the things that need to be that are naturally flow into my life. Instead of trying to make things happen, just kind of being. Because I know that if I am able to completely let go and just to be, and I feel like that is the process that I'm in, then I'll get up in the morning and I'll do art projects and I'll do all sorts of projects that interest me. And so it's kind of like the egg and a chicken, like what came first. So you have to kind of create the life that you want um, from the place that you are. It's a gradual kind of shifting and trust, and slowly get into, slowly create the life that you want. So I was thinking about this morning because it's pretty much something that I have been struggling with. I don't want to say struggling, but something that I've been thinking that's been going on for years. Get up in the morning. Okay, I'll just do all the stuff that I have to do so that I can get it out of the way, and then I can do the stuff that I really want to do. And I was noticing that's still the pattern, even with all the new realizations. Like yesterday, I got up. Okay, I got packages done, and I do need to make a living, so it is a responsibility. I got up and got a whole bunch of packages ready, but then I didn't leave any time for the things that I really, really are really important to me. Getting up in the morning and rolling posters doesn't fulfill. I mean, it fulfills part of the existence. That's part of it. But there's also this other part that wants to express myself and get and I'm writing my book now. Now I've decided I'm going to get this book out. Today is Monday. I said this week I'm going to get my alcohol book out. When after I quit drinking, about 3 years after, I went into therapy for a long time after. About 3 years after, I sat down and I wrote a book about it. But it's more like a pamphlet, and there's a little bit there's part of it is my story of alcohol, like a story of me with alcohol, and how I started drinking and how I quit drinking and all of that, the personal story. But the part that I am most connected to in that book is the part that I write about the thought processes and what goes on inside the mind of an alcoholic, the reasons why an alcoholic drinks, and everything that an alcoholic goes through while they're in their addiction. And it is relevant to any kind of addiction. So I really want to get that out. I feel like that is part of my God's work. And I also want to get out a whole bunch of other writings that I have. And I have a lot that's already written on the computer. I just need to edit it. And then I have those baskets and baskets and baskets of notebooks. So it's kind of like it's like letting go and allowing myself to naturally flow into where my natural place is, and not trying to like fight against or something, but it's like an ultimate letting go. I'm gonna find a place here to sit. I just feel like sitting like that. Oh, look, there's this is I didn't know it was here. See, these are the fruit, this is what I picked this morning. Also, I sent a bag with my son. They're what are they called? Figs. These figs look like they might not be pollinated because the fruit is actually, and it's the flower of the tree. It's just inverted, so the flower grows inward, and in order for them to ripen and become fruit, there's like a certain kind of wasp, or I think it's a kind of wasp, kind of like a fly wasp, that pollinates these flowers. And with the decline of bees and flying insects, a lot of these trees that I see around on the mountains and stuff never get pollinated. So we can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, these are not, it doesn't look like they're ripening. It looks like they just not pollinated this whole tree. So the flowers will never bloom. They'll never come to be, because I can see that they're already falling stunted. See, they never, it's like a little rock. They're already falling off the tree without ripening. So you can see the effects of that, like mass spraying, because in the Galilee, there's a lot of fields of farmers, and the planes come through here and they just spray. And you know that, I don't see how that is still going on. It just seems so absurd to me. It just seems like it's all around money. But what I was talking about is getting into this flow of being in the natural place of where I need to be, and then everything is, so it's creating the life that I want first. And this is the life that I want. If I take my son down to the intersection, I want to be able to not have pressure to get back, to have to do my work. And I feel like this is part of my work, because when I come out into nature, I feel inspired. I feel like a battery that is getting charged. I feel like it clears my mind and allows my intuition and my inspiration just to flow. Um, there is something about also just sitting in place and doing your work, just sitting and doing your work. So I'm gonna take this walk, and then I'm gonna get back and start. I think I'm gonna start editing my book a little bit, and I have so many other things that I need to do just to service the body part of this, the physical part of this journey, this life journey. So yesterday, I didn't see my twin. It was one of the first days in a few days, like in a week maybe, that I haven't seen him. And and I'm okay. I feel like everything is exact. I kind of I a little bit felt the chasing energy just a little bit, but it comes up now in tinges. It used to be like I would sit in it constantly. It would when I first had like when I first met my twin, there was this constant like nagging uh, um, chasing energy. And now I feel like I know how to, first of all, I can recognize it and I feel like when I recognize it, I can say, okay, this isn't serving me. And also, I can, because I've already gone through it so much with my emotions and worked on the emotions, and I've gone through it so much in my mind that I can with my mind and my emotions kind of bring it down to a place of calm. Yesterday I felt like I was breathing through it. And you can also just kind of suspend it and start doing other things, and then you slowly realize that the suspension just kind of dissipates. So like you have the feeling, the chasing feeling, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the thing, is that when you have that energy, um, it's not gonna get it's not gonna get quenched. Even if you think about it, even if you start chasing, and let's say your twin allows you to catch them, it with that energy, nothing good comes from it. So even when if you meet your twin and you're in that energy, it stops the flow. It something there becomes like something in the connection becomes non-fluid. So even if so it's good for nothing really. I mean, it's good for keeping the connection alive. I think it keeps it keeps you on the spiritual awakening path, because without that, then the connection would be so difficult that you would just turn it off and you'd go in your life. And I think that's what some of the twins do. They try to just shut it out. What I've realized is that there is no shutting it out. So all there is acceptance. Um, I remember I guess one of my boyfriends that I had, I broke up with him for proper reasons. I broke up with him, but I was really hurt by the relationship, and I was, you know, and it took me a few months to get over it. I remember thinking it's so painful. When is this going to pass? And And then I went to the Jordan River. It was like a couple years ago. I went to the Jordan River and did like this ceremony. And what I realized was that I was trying to hate him, that I loved him, because when you love somebody, love is pure. And that I was trying to let him go by telling myself all the reasons why I shouldn't like him or shouldn't love him or shouldn't be stuck on him. And what I realized was that I loved him. So I was going against myself, and that I can love him and let him go at the same time. I don't have to hold on to him. He doesn't, even if I love him, he doesn't have to be here. I can just like let him go into the world, knowing, wanting the best for him and wishing the best for him, and he doesn't have to be right next to me, and just knowing that he's okay and he's out in the world is enough. And with that, some kind of release just came, like I let him go. And from that point, it was really like a shifting. It just shifted. I can love him, but I don't have to hold him. And it's the same thing with your twin. You can know that they're there, and I can feel his presence. Yesterday, I was feeling telepathy with him. I was getting his jokes, and he was just with me. It felt like he was in me, but it feels like an energetic presence, like his being. It's like pure consciousness. It's like an understanding of his being, and he's in the world, so I'm connected to him. And it's like I can feel him and his presence and know him without physical. It feels like even the physical conversation brings it down to much smaller than when you just in expression through emotions. And I feel like even when we meet a lot of times lately, I don't need to speak with him. It's enough that enough. But when I'm next to him, I just, just from the vibe, just from the vibration, it's kind of like he balances me out, or I can understand exactly what he's thinking, or we have these synchronicities, like we'll both get up at the same time to leave a place, like we both feel at the same time it's time, or we'll both, we're like in sync with each other. A lot of times, even to the point where we show up and we're wearing the same colors, or we're wearing the same, it doesn't even have to be the same colors, but the same style. Like we look like we go together. We look like we are connected, even without any kind of, you know, prior setting it up or anything. But really, what I'm learning more and more is that I am creating the life that I want first before I have the, knowing how. Because when, like with the manifestation, you imagine the life that you want and you see the end product. So you really have to know what you want in order to make it be. And more I'm realizing, what do I really want? What is it that I really want? Um, yeah, do I want to just be, what do I want? I want to be provided for, that's for sure. Yesterday I was feeling this immense feeling like everybody that has come before me, all of the generations, the land, the animals, the bees, the plants are all in support of me. The illusion is the matrix. Now, they're running around after money, and the money being of the importance is the matrix. Now, I'm not saying that it's not important. It is important, to be able to have means. That's the means. That's the way that means come to be in this physical world nowadays, in this society. But it's that isn't just the means. Your importance isn't only how much money you make. There's so many different things that are of importance. There's emotional abundance. There's um abundance. There's abundance in so many different ways. It's not just money. And I was, on my walk this morning, I was, there's walking by houses, because that's one big thing. And I have two big areas in my life that I really want to bring into alignment with how I feel. And that's, one is my love life, and another one um is my making a living, having enough money to do the things that I want to do, or having a home. That's a big one. Having a home that I like. The home that I'm in now, I don't like it. I shouldn't tell myself those things. I should say thank you for the home that I do have, and be an appreciation that I have a home. I am an appreciation that I have a home, that I have where to be. And knowing that I want to move at the end of this agreement. I really do. I want to move. And so then I need to know exactly what it is that I want. And what do I want? Without knowing exactly what it is that I want, how am I going to move into it? And so I'm starting to imagine the home that I want. I want a piece of property without sheds that I can work outside and all sorts of projects and with a large garden and trees. And I want to raise my own fruit and vegetables. You know, I want area for the dogs, and I want a couple of little goats and a nice home that has room for everybody and kind of live with nature and that everybody has a place and that feel at home in, and that has room for my life partner and also everything that they want to, and that would make their life rich and their creations, and place for my children and harmony in the home and good relationships and loving loving atmosphere, all of those things, and to make a living with ease through the things that I enjoy doing. And so then I start thinking, okay, what is it that I enjoy doing? So I enjoy doing my art. I want to put my books out. I enjoy doing these videos. I really do. I enjoy doing the videos. If I could make a living off of just doing videos and doing my art and, you know, bringing myself in, I would like to have a studio. I'd like to have an art studio where I could go in and just pitter patter with my art, make sculptures and make molds and make paintings. And so, so if this is the life that I want, somehow I need to create this before it exists. So somehow I need to bring this into existence. There's that one book that my twin sent me that talks about that there is an intelligent substance that is all around us, from which everything in creation comes forth from. And if you hold a certain vibration or a certain thought, because what is a thought? A thought is a vibration. If you hold a certain thought for long enough in this invisible substance that becomes form in the physical world, then the object of your desire, the object of your thought, will come into being. And that makes a lot of sense for me. And so you really have to know what you want before you can bring it into existence. You have to be able to see it before it exists. And what they actually said is then you have to hold this thought long enough to allow it to form and to come to you, because the way that it comes to you is through the um, natural patterns of the universe. It doesn't just appear out of thin air. It'll come and it'll be formed, and you have to give it the time. But in order to even get to that point, you have to really know and be able to imagine by picture what it is that you want. I remember I don't remember the man's name, but he wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he was taking a shower, and I listened to one of his stories. He was taking a shower, and he was having all sorts of monetary problems, and he said, okay, how do I make $1 million? All I need is $1 from 1 million people. And then he thought of his book that he had already had written, and then he put it out, and that's how he made it. But before that, he was making like this visual board, and he took a house that he wanted, like his dream house, and he had it on his vision board. And at one point when they moved, he took his vision board and he put it in a box. And then after a few years, after he already, put out his book and he started making money and he was doing really well, he bought a house, his dream house. And when he brought his boxes and he opened up his vision board and pulled out his vision board, it was the exact house that he bought. It wasn't a house like it. It was that house that somehow he had found a picture of online, and that was the house that he manifested for himself. And so that's mastery of manifestation. And this morning I was also looking at how I grew up. I grew up in this dense, dense, dense state of like lack and poor. We're always poor. We were always, we always didn't have money. It was always an excuse. There was always like this heavy, and I was looking at it this morning. It was like there was no flow of money. So it was like always living in the sludge in the bottom of the cup. The cup is never full. And it's a mindset. I can see it so clearly because I was thinking, I was thinking, okay, so I was thinking about me, right, and putting something and applying something from my life to this equation, kind of, if I can kind of show it. So I was thinking like like I sell frankincense, so I could sell frankincense for like 50 shekels for a small thing of frankincense. I was thinking, okay, how much frankincense do people buy? It's something that I really like selling, or 100 shekels or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not that's not the point. And then I was thinking of somebody that sells a pizza, and he sells a pizza for 50 shekels. And people put out a pizza, 50 shekels for a pizza, like nothing, and they'll put it out like twice or three times a month. And I was thinking it's a different way of thinking. With pizza, it's like a flow. It's like something that is like that. It's like a commodity. And I don't know why that thought came up, but it was like because it's a different way of thinking. It's the thinking of selling something one time for this amount, or the thinking of abundance. Like something that's really quick and easy, and and it's the same amount, and it creates like a flow in your life. Not that I want to make pizza. I'm just thinking that how those two things are so contrasty. For me, anyway, they turned out to be kind of like in my mind. And so I'm thinking like I need to create this flow, and I really, by looking at my parents and looking how I was raised, I can see I can see the pattern. And you have to be able to see the pattern that you have going on in order to kind of, you don't have to, right? There's lots of ways to get to the same outcome, but it's one way. With me, I think it really works for me to understand what I am doing so that I can consciously let it go when I see it coming up, that kind of mindset. I can recognize it and say, okay, and then I can shift it into there's abundance everywhere. And I'm getting better and better at this. So really it's like creating the life that I want. And this whole conversation started because when I came here to Nachlamut for this hike, I was thinking to myself, do I really have, if I want to get my life going, am I running away from my life? Or like, do I really have the time to go on a hike this morning where I should be getting back and getting busy? And yeah, I should be getting back and getting busy, but I also should be allowing myself to do the things that I enjoy in life and be inspired by them. Because being out here in nature, what is this? I found a spoon. I'm not going to keep it. Or maybe I should, no, I don't need it. So, being out here in nature, obviously I don't need it. I'm just thinking, I like finding funky things out in places and then using them. But I'm learning less and less to drag junk home. I like this minimalistic thing. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and in this here. So have a wonderful day. Creating the life that you want before you have it. That is key to manifestation, because you have to know what it is that you want in order to create it.